I'm Tony. So today I'm going to get into a Vinyasa Yoga practice focusing on balance, which will help us when we get to the peak pose, which is the tree pose. So let's get started. So cross your legs at your shins and just come into easy pose, easy seat. And to start, let's do some breathing. So just take about 3 deep breaths, pause, and then let it out. So in, pause, and then let it out. In, hold it, let it out. Still one more, in, hold it, and let it out. Good. Okay, let's do some warm-up here. So I'm gonna get on my mat here, and let's start in with child pose. So pretty much child pose, you're just gonna sit back on your heels, and you can have your knees together if you want to round your back more, or you can bring them apart if you want to be straight and get like a further reach. Either way, I usually start with my knees apart and just kind of start taking baby steps here, and slide too if you want, and just come down, keeping your tailbone on your heels. Keep going as far as you can, putting your forehead on the mat, and just hang out here for a minute and breathe. Okay, we're gonna, from this position, I'm just gonna face you for a minute. We're going to do some side stretches. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna just walk your hands like little baby steps. When you get about, just about this far, just take your left hand and put it on top of your right, like that. I'm gonna go back. So you're here, and you're holding it, and you just breathe. Just stay here for a couple breaths. On your next exhale, just walk back, staying kind of low here, back to center, and breathe again. We're just going to take little steps with our hands over to the left side, and just put your right hand on top of your left and come back down to the mat with your forehead. Just breathe here. Okay, again, let's just walk back over and keep going past center and just go all the way to the right, putting your left hand on top of your right hand. You'll feel that stretch on your left side. Okay, one more time on the left. Just walk over to the left with your hands and put your right hand on top of your left. And just breathe. Okay, let's come back to center now. And let's go into a downward facing dog. And we're going to do some wide lunges. So come to tabletop. Just curl your toes back and lift up to downward dog. And right here, just kind of hang out for a second and just pump your legs just to get your legs all stretched out and warmed up. Normally, you'd want your back straight. So when you want to make your back straight, you kind of slightly bend your knees and put your head down and make your back straight. That's the main purpose of downward dog, to have a straight back. So eventually you'll be able to put your heels on the ground. Okay, let's release that. Come into plank. So this is plank. And we're going to come into some wide lunges. So I'm going to start with my left side. So just take your left foot and put it right on the outside of your left hand. And plant your back foot down and raise your right hand up for a twist. And look up at the ceiling. Just breathe here. Okay, come back down. Both hands on the mat. Bring your left foot back and come into your downward dog. Just briefly. Come back to plank. Another wide lunge on the right side. So take your right foot, put it on the outside of your right hand. Okay, plant your back foot. Take your left hand up and look at it. Or look at the ceiling. And breathe. Okay, release. Come back down. Take your right foot, put it back. Downward dog. And let's just do one more of these. Wide lunge on the left side. Plant your back foot. Arm up. And your next out breath, just release that. Come back down. And let's reverse it. A quick down dog. And then a right foot forward. Plant your back foot. And your left hand comes up. Just breathe here. Okay, let's come back down. Both hands on the mat. And put your right foot back. And let's go into the down dog. And now take your feet just in little baby steps and come right up to your hands. And we're going to come into a forward fold. Forward fold, you're just going to let your arms dangle and let your weight of your torso just hang with your head loose. Knees bent slightly. Okay, we're going to come to downward dog again and go into a plank. So right foot back, left foot back, downward dog. Try to see if you can have a straight back with getting your legs a little bit straighter. If you want, you can widen your legs a little bit and you can get a little bit closer that way. Okay, let's come to a plank. Then we're going to do a chaturanga all the way down to baby cobra. So when you do a chaturanga, make sure that everything is stacked. Your wrists, your elbows, and your shoulders are all stacked. So you might have to lean forward a little bit here. And just come straight down all the way to your belly. And keep your hands there because we're going to do a baby cobra. So baby cobra, you don't need to push up on your hands. Just lift your head and your back muscles pretty much do the work here. And look forward. Hold this. And breathe. Okay, let's lift back up. downward dog. Okay, and then we're going to take little baby steps up to a forward fold and get into some sun salutations. So just hang here for a second and rise up to Tadasana. So Vinyasa Yoga always has sun salutations. So we're going to go through 4 rounds, and the last 2 rounds will be a little bit shorter than the first 2 rounds. Okay, so sun salutation, I'll just walk you through this. I'll start slow and then I'll just kind of speed up a little bit. You start with a high salute, and you can even bend back a little bit. You come down to a forward fold. Hang here for a second. Now you're going to step back with your right foot and then your left foot and do downward dog. Plank. Chaturanga. Be sure to lean forward a little bit. Chaturanga halfway, then to an upward dog. So halfway, upward dog. Pushing your chest forward. Down dog. From here, raise your right foot up. Step it in between your hands. Step your left foot up. Forward fold. Back up to high salute. Back down to forward fold. This time, we're going to step back with our left foot. So put your hands on the mat. Step back with your left foot, your right foot. Downward dog. Chaturanga. Halfway. Upward dog. Push your chest forward. Tops of your feet should be hitting the mat, not your knees. Downward dog. Left foot up in the sky. Bring it up in between your hands. Forward fold. High salute. That's round 1. Round 2. Forward fold. Hands on the mat. Step back with your right foot. Downward dog. Plank. Chaturanga. Halfway. Upward dog. Downward dog. Right foot in the sky. Step forward. Forward fold. High salute. Forward fold. Step back with your left foot. Right foot. Downward dog. Plank. Halfway. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Down dog. Up with your left foot. Step forward. That's round 2. So round 3 is going to be slightly shorter, and I'll show you when we get there. Forward fold. Step back with your right foot. Left foot. Downward dog. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. And just pause here for a second. Just pump your feet for a second here. And what you're going to do is you're going to step or jump up to your hands. Okay, so here's what it looks like if you step. I'll do a jump on the next one. Upward salute. High salute. Forward fold. Step back with your left foot. Back with your right. Downward dog. Plank. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Down dog. And from here, you're going to step or jump to your hands. So this is what it looks like if you jump. High salute for round 4. Round 4 is going to be even a little bit shorter. So come down to forward fold, hands on the mat, and from here you're going to jump back to downward dog. So look where you're going back there, and just jump. you could step too, and I'll show you that next. Okay, chaturanga, upward dog, down dog, up. Okay, so from here, this is where you can jump back to the forward fold. So here's what a jump looks like. So hang here for a second. Okay, we're gonna do some standing sequences, poses. So let's go back into a downward facing dog, and we're gonna come into warrior 2, and we're gonna do 3 or 4 rounds of this, and I'll add more as we go. But so for warrior 2, you're gonna take your right foot, put it in between your hands, plant your back foot down, and rise up to a T, looking forward. Next, we're going to go into a low lunge, all with one move. So you're going to take both hands above your head, turn forward, put your knee on the ground, and put the top of your foot down on the mat for a low lunge. Okay. Put your hands back down, downward dog. Okay, let's do the other side. So left foot forward, come up to your T, and here I'm going to add a peaceful warrior. I forgot to do it on the other side, but it comes in here where you just take your right hand, slide it down to your knee, and come up and look at your left hand up in the sky. Okay, from here, both hands come up into your low lunge. So right knee on the ground, top of the foot on the ground, low lunge. Hold this for a second. Okay, come down. That was round 1. Round 2, downward dog. And then this one, I'm just going to add a triangle. Okay, so right foot forward, right into a warrior. And hold this for a second. Back hand comes down. Peaceful warrior. Looking at your hand up. Okay, low lunge. So you're just going to come forward, both hands up. Put your left knee on the ground, top of the foot on the mat. Come down, downward facing dog. Again on the left side. Come up. Peaceful. Okay, from here, just straighten your left knee, and we're going to come into the triangle. So just lean forward, hand down through your shin to see if you can grab your ankle. If not, just anywhere in that area you can hold onto your shin. Okay, come back up, bend your knee, low lunge. Holding this pose, and then release, come back down on an out breath. Downward dog. Okay, for our last round, I'm going to add a bind to the triangle pose, and then add a side plank. So from downward dog, warrior, Let's go into the triangle. Lean forward, come down, left hand comes up. Both your legs and both your arms should be straight. Looking up. From here, I'm going to take my left hand, come down, around, and try to grab your right thigh. Push your chest forward and look up. Okay, release that. Bend your right knee. Come into peaceful warrior. Going into our low lunge now. And from here, we're going to go into a side plank. So what you do is you come down, put your hands on your mat, take your back foot and lay it down. Okay? And then take your right foot, but I'm going the wrong way, sorry. Lay it down this way and come back like this. And you can stack them or put one in front of the other. You'll have more balance if you put one foot in front of the other for the side plank. Just look up at your hand. Okay, come back down, release, downward dog, and we'll do the other side. Okay, left foot forward, warrior, devotional warrior, okay, hands in a T, straighten both legs, reach out, and then come down and slide down your shin, hold your ankle, and look up at your hand, breathe here. Okay, we're going to take our hand that's in the air and bring it down around our back and grab our thigh. Push your chest forward, look up. Okay, you can release that. Come back up, bend your knee, and we're going into our low lunge. And just breathe here for a second. Okay, for our side plank, we're just going to put our hands on the mat and take your right foot and plant it to your outside of your foot. So you're kind of moving it to the right and taking your left foot and putting it right on top or in front, either way. If you put it in front, you'll have more balance. If you start shaking, that's okay. Okay, release. Come back to downward dog. Okay, and now we're going to get into some balancing poses with some twists. So from downward dog, you're going to come up to a forward fold. And so I'm just going to hop up to the forward fold. You can step or hop. Okay, hop, forward fold. And from here, we're going to get into the chair pose. So we're going to do a couple of things with the chair pose. So let's come up to the chair pose. We're going to come up with our hands like this, swing them up, put your seat back, your knees bent, and come up to a chair pose. You can put your feet a little bit closer together too. Sometimes you want to touch your toes, but I got mine about 2 inches apart. So chair pose. And from here, We're going to come into the diver pose, but before we do, let's take our hands, interlace them behind us, and pull them up to the sky, staying in the chair pose. And just breathe. Okay, from here, diver pose, so you just lean down. You can rest your stomach and chest right on your thighs, but bring your hands up higher. This is the diver pose. And now we're going to get into the devotional warrior pose, which is you're just going to take your right foot and step back, but keep this position. So just like this. Okay, from here, release your hands, downward facing dog. Catch your breath here. I'm going to step back up to a forward fold, and we're going to come into a tree pose. This is going to be a simplified tree pose as we work up to the peak pose. Okay, so I'm going to come up, I'm going to face you here. So on this one, what you're going to do is you're going to lean and catch your balance on your right foot, right leg, and take your left foot and just lean it against your right foot, kind of like with your heel on your right ankle. And when you got your balance, just put your hands, prayer position at the heart, and then bring them up. And hold. I'm going to face this way now. Bring them up. And from here, we're going to go into a low lunge. So what you do is you just take your left foot and bring it straight behind you into a low lunge. So you can release your palms but facing each other. Come back, knee on the ground, top of the foot on the ground. And we're going to do a revolved extended side angle, which means that the last time we were in a low lunge, went this way, but we're going to go the opposite way. So left hand goes on the mat, and you twist to the right. Hold this pose. Okay, down dog. And let's go into a child's pose here. So knees on the ground. Sit back and just relax here for a second. Because we're going to do the same thing, but on the other side. Just take a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, come up to tabletop, then downward dog, forward fold. Okay, so put your feet a little bit closer together, and we're going to come into chair pose. So put your seat back, your knees bent, your arms up at an angle, and you're looking forward and down. Breathe here. Stay with it. Just put your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and bring your hands up to the sky, holding the same pose. Breathe. Okay, diver pose. Just come down, hands up in the air. Okay, this time when we step back, it's going to be with our left foot. For devotional warrior, so go ahead and step back, holding the same pose. Okay, release. Down dog. Downward dog. Into a forward fold. Step forward. Forward fold. Hang here for a second. Okay, come up. to Tadasana. We're going to do the tree pose on the other side. So you're going to get your balance on your left leg and just the opposite. Lean your right foot onto your left foot. I'll face this way now. Okay. Hands prayer position at the heart center. Hands up. Prayer position. And then you can release them with the palms facing at you. And we're going to come into our low lunge. So just take your right foot, step back, knee on the ground, top of the foot on the ground. Hold this pose. Okay, we're going to come into our twist. So right hand goes on the mat, twist to your left, left hand comes up. Okay, exhale and release that. Downward dog. All right, let's come to the tabletop, and we're going to get into our peak pose now. So from child's pose, I guess we could have started at tabletop, but let's start here. Couple breaths. Okay, let's come to tabletop. Down dog. Okay. And a forward fold. So step forward to your feet, forward fold. And from here, we're going to come into a halfway lift, which is pretty much, you take your hands and you can just put them on your shins, and you should pretty much look like the letter L or the number 7. Now hold this for a few seconds, and your legs should be straight. So just adjust that. You can come up higher if you want, or lower. Okay, back to our forward fold. Just bend your knees slightly. Okay, come up. This time we're going to do our peak pose, which is the tree pose, and we're going to do it with it. It's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be the traditional way of doing it. So you want to balance on your right leg. Okay, swing this a little bit. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to bring your foot either up to your calf or thigh. Okay, you can go here. Just don't go right on your knee because it's really hard on your knees. So from this position, we're going to hands at prayer position. So get your balance here. Okay, and come up, straight up, and hold this and breathe. Really stretch up high. Okay, we're not going to go into the low lunge here, but we're going to release that, and we're going to do the other side. So down to Tadasana, and balance on the left leg now. Make sure you got your balance, and then come up, calf or thigh. Get your balance and come into prayer position at your heart, and then prayer position above your head, keeping your balance here. Reach high, breathe, and from here, release your hands and legs. Come down to Tadasana and breathe. Okay, so we're going to get into a cool down. So let's come down and a sit down. I'll face you for this. Well, maybe I can do it this way. but you're going to come into, I'll show you like this, bound ankle pose or butterfly, and your soles should come together and bring them as close to your body as you can, and then you're just going to lean forward. Okay, so I'm going to face this way. If it's too uncomfortable, you can bring your feet out a little bit. So here we are here. So you want to be kind of a little bit forward on your mat, because after this we're going to lay back. So make sure that you got enough room. But anyways, you start leaning forward, letting your head drop and pushing your hands out. And just come to this position with your elbows and your hands on the mat. Let your head hang. And if you can, keep sliding your hands forward. See how far you can go. Let's just hold this. Okay, let's start walking our hands back. Keep going back. And we are going to come into a reclined bound ankle pose. Okay, so just keep on going back. And let your legs and knees just dangle here. If your knees are bugging you, you can put like a pillow or something under both of them, but you can always push your feet out forward a little bit more if they're bugging you. And just relax into this. You should feel a nice stretch on your lower back. Okay, from here, you bring your knees together with your feet on the ground and maybe bring them a little bit closer. I'm going to move up a little bit closer. Your feet a little bit closer to your buttocks. Bring your knees towards you and just hug them and kind of roll back and forth here to massage your lower back. And then put your feet back down on the ground with your knees still bent, and let your knees go to the right. Put your arms in a T and look to your left. Breathe here. It's a little bit harder to breathe on a twist, but just take shorter breaths. Or you can slightly release and breathe in, and then go back, breathe out. Okay, let's come back to center. So bring your knees back up and hug them again. Getting that nice stretch in your lower back. Feet back down, arms in a T, and let's bring your knees down to the left and look to the right. Just breathe here. Okay, let's come back to center. Hug your knees again. We're going to do that one more time, but I'm going to add something new to it. So knees to the right, arms in a T, look to your left. And this time take your right hand and bring it on your knees and push down on your knees, and you'll get even more of a twist, especially in your left hip. Breathe in here. Okay. Release that. Arms in a T. Just come all the way back and keep going. Knees to your left. Look to your right. And take your left hand and press down on your knees. Feel that nice stretch on the right side. Okay, from here, come back up. And let's hug our knees again. And from here, we're going to go into the happy baby pose. Where from here, all you got to do is straighten out your knees halfway and grab the outside of your feet, and the insides of your arms should go on the, or the outsides of your arms should go on the inside of your legs. And pretty much you just relax into this. The weight of your arms will just give you the perfect amount of pressure just due to gravity. And here, if you want to play with this, you can bend your left knee down to the ground, straighten out your right leg, grab your toes. You can switch sides. You can straighten out both your legs. Okay, from here, just keep your legs straight and put them together, and lay your hands down on the ground, facing down, and your elbows on the ground, and just push up with your arms into the plow. So you just go as far as you can, just trying to keep your legs straight. You can even grab your toes if you want. Bring it all the way down to the ground. Okay, from here, we're going to put our hands where your hands were. Put them on your lower back and push up on your lower back. And just breathe into this. Okay, keeping your legs straight. Just lower your butt back down to the ground. Right there. Slide your legs forward. So we're going to go into Shavasana. Move up a little bit. All right. So you can close your eyes here and completely relax. I'm gonna move up. Okay. Your palms can be up or down, and just start to. You're probably breathing a little bit harder than usual because of all of that, but just give you a chance to get into a natural breathing rhythm, and notice that your head, your back, and your legs and your feet are just let them sink into the mat. Notice your breathing. And let's do a quick body scan just to relax certain muscles. So starting at the top of your head, your scalp, just notice it. Make sure it's relaxed. Let's go down to your forehead, to your eyebrows, and your eyes. Your eyes especially seem to stay tense, so you might want to come back to that later on. But anyways, your whole face, your jaw, your neck. Notice your shoulders, let them relax. Your arms, your elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers, let them all relax. Let your chest and upper back relax. Torso, mid back, lower back, pelvis, your glutes, thighs, your knees, your calves, let them all relax. Ankles, feet, toes, relax. And come back to your breathing again and focus on the inhale and the exhale. you can focus how the air comes into your nostrils a little bit cooler. You can focus on the rise and fall of your chest or stomach. Especially notice the out breath. It takes a little bit longer and it feels like you're just letting go. You can really notice the stillness on the out breath. If your eyes are tense again, just relax them. Come back to your breath. If your mind wanders, just come back. It's part of meditating. You can also just notice your thoughts. And if that takes you away, just come back to breathing. Okay, a couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, start noticing the sounds in the room, or if you're outside. Wiggle your fingers and toes and open your eyes. Take a deep breath, and before you move, try to notice the stillness. Become aware of it. And try to hold on to the stillness throughout your day. Just bend our knees and just roll them to one side and use your arm as a pillow for your head. Just lay here for a second. Okay, just push up with one of your hands and come up to seated pose. So that concludes our Vinyasa yoga practice. And if you liked it, please subscribe and like, and I'll be putting up more and more videos for you. Namaste.